Do not attempt to adjust your monitors. This is an exclusive MJPL Brotherhood Bulletin. The MJPL Brotherhood cannot be bought, silenced, or threatened, as we are the only free voices left on the internet. Thanks to a source which shall remain anonymous at this time, we at the MJPL Brotherhood have learned that Vice President James David Vance has apparently pulled a page from the playbook of his boss Donald John Trump Sr. This page apparently contains lessons on how to disrespect all women at any cost, especially if you're married to her. And what exactly did James David Vance do? We will gladly tell you. James David Vance sold out the one person who believed in him without hesitation, his wife Usha. This is not rumor, this is the story of ambition devouring loyalty, of a man who chose power over the dignity of his own home. Usha Vance, born Usha Balachilakari, is the daughter of Indian Hindu immigrants, raised in a home of faith, discipline, and compassion. When she met James David Vance, the Marine-turned-writer, their story looked like a modern American union, the Ohio boy and the brilliant Indian-American attorney. They blended cultures, Christian and Hindu, and built a life rooted in respect. But everything changed when James David Vance began chasing political power. The man who once criticized Donald John Trump Sr. reshaped himself into Trump's most loyal follower. And as he molded himself to fit the demands of the far-right base, he began treating his wife's identity as a political liability. When extremist groups online attacked Usha with racist and Hindu-phobic insults, Vance said nothing. They mocked her heritage, questioned her faith, and claimed a real conservative couldn't have a Hindu wife. Instead of defending her, he stayed quiet. Silence became strategy. Appeasement became policy. Then came his turning point USA appearance. When asked about his wife's religion, he could have, or in this case, should have defended her. Instead, he downplayed her Hindu upbringing, portrayed her faith as something big and incomplete, and shared with the crowd his hopes that she would eventually come to Christianity. The audience cheered, not because he honored his wife, but because he framed her beliefs as something to fix. He wasn't protecting her at all, he was performing for them. Meanwhile, Usha said she grew up in a deeply religious Hindu household. She credited her parents' devotion for shaping her values. Yet, her husband rewrote her story to please extremists who demanded ideological purity. When leaked GOP group chats surfaced, filled with racist comments about Indians and Hindus, Vance again chose silence, not condemnation, not defense, absolute silence. The message was unmistakable: insult my wife if you want, I still need your vote. Reports in major outlets across the US and India called his behavior exactly what it was: pandering to Christian nationalists at the expense of his own family. Even Usha's relatives abroad expressed quiet disappointment. The bridge she built between two cultures was cracking under the weight of politics. Then the following image circulated: James David Vance was photographed embracing conservative influencer Erica Kirk at that same Mississippi event. Maybe innocent, maybe not. But the optics tore through social media, fueling speculation that strain in the marriage was no longer hidden. For a man preaching traditional values, it was a devastating picture. The core tragedy here is not scandal, it is moral collapse. Vance built his brand on family, faith, and loyalty. Yet when the moment came to defend the woman who built his life with him, he failed. He let extremists dictate the narrative of his marriage. He let politics decide the language of his love. He traded respect for applause, integrity for relevance. Meanwhile, Usha became the silent casualty. She stepped back from her legal career to support him, raised their children, and stood beside him at every rally, while her faith and identity became political talking points that he freely reshaped. She signed up to be a partner, not a prop. This story exposes something larger than one marriage. It reveals the sickness in American politics, the urge to sacrifice truth for clout, the willingness to erase identity for acceptance, the eagerness to bow to extremism instead of confronting it. If James David Vance will not defend his own wife from hate, then how will he defend a nation from division? If he cannot protect the dignity of his own home, then what moral foundation does he have left to stand on? He chose power over principle, applause over honesty, ambition over loyalty. In short, James David Vance sold out his own wife. These facts stated today, in addition to those shared in previous bulletins, serve as further proof that Donald John Trump Sr. and James David Vance are truly and utterly unfit to serve as President and Vice President of the United States of America. If you disagree with these facts, if you are willing to continue supporting Donald John Trump Sr. and his bearded yes man James David Vance, then you are being willfully ignorant. that you no longer care about what happens to our great country, its people, or its neighbors and visitors from other countries. God bless the United States of America and its people. And may God have mercy on Donald Trump and the few supporters he has left, because we the American people will not. This has been an exclusive MJPL Brotherhood Bulletin, in association with the Eyes Only Informant Net. Peace out.